Israel's annual President's Conference drew about 5,000 distinguished guests to Jerusalem, some from Israel, many international. Experts gathered in order to discuss a better tomorrow and to brainstorm together about innovation, about brain research, about the environment, and about great leadership. How does it feel to be here at the conference in Jerusalem?
You know, it's really wonderful. I enjoy going to these conferences around the world. It's a great learning experience. I'm really honored to be with my distinguished colleagues and to listen to all of the things that they have to say. It's very, very enlightening.
You know, I see a country, Israel, even though, you know, it's small, but the future is bright. I see the great entrepreneurship opportunities, and I see Israel with leading technology and innovation capability. I really see Israel as the next Silicon Valley.
Some of the panels and lectures at this conference targeted the theme of the global economy as well as the Israeli one. What can you say about the economy looking forward? How are we doing here in Israel?
Well, Israel joined a long time ago the globalization, so we are part of the world. So we are actually going to talk today about the threats as the world is really shaky and now you don't see any very clear future. We're going to talk about how we in the Israeli economy can really face it, and we're going to talk about our strengths, our weaknesses. So it is all about the Israeli economy.
Now, many people in Israel are very upset about the high costs of living, about the gaps between the poor and the rich. We had the tent revolution that began 2 years ago, and it's still going until today. How do you feel we can come out of such a gap?
I think the gaps in the Israeli society started many, many years ago. And when you really talk about the gaps between the rich and the poor, you talk about 50% of the population that is not part of the workforce. So about the ultra-Orthodox, the Arabs, the women. So if human resources are actually the strengths of Israel, how come more than 50% is not part of the workforce in terms of infrastructure? So these are fundamental things that the government definitely has to face when we talk about the future. Access to education, access to health, access to work as a whole, as a culture.
At the President's Conference, there are many exhibitions about innovation and brain research and all sorts of technologies. There are stands all over the place here trying to exhibit their latest research. Like this one, for example, about functional brain mapping. Can you tell me what this is?
Of course. What we do is we record brain waves using EEG, which is a relatively well-known technology, and we use those brain waves to create a functional brain map, which allows us to diagnose you with a concussion. It allows us to tell you how long it'll take for you to return to healthy, for you to return to normal, to diagnose ADHD, Parkinson's, Alzheimer's, all kinds of different diseases. Anything that affects the brain, we can see and monitor and diagnose using your brainwaves.
The host of this conference, Israel's President Shimon Peres, began his 90th birthday celebrations here this week with many international friends who came to honor him here in Jerusalem.
I'm a person who doesn't really believe in not telling our true age and not becoming the fullness of the age that we are. And President Peres is a perfect example of that, in being the vibrancy and the fullness and the wisdom of the age that we are and existing presently in the now, not in the past. I think when we try to pretend we're not the age that we are, we cling to the moments in our past as the good parts of ourselves. We don't stay present in the now and the wisdom and the accuracy and the intelligence of the moment in the now.
There's always a saying from Rabbi Hillel, who are you if you're not for yourself? What are you if you're only for yourself? And if not now, then when? And Shimon Peres has lived that creed his whole life. I've been a great admirer. I've had the good fortune of working with him when I've worked for both President Clinton and President Obama. And it's an honor to be here for his birthday.
With over 2,000 guests from abroad, 24 panels, 7 plenary sessions, performances, and gala events, this conference, which cost the organizers about $3 million, will definitely be hard to top next year. For JN1, I'm Sivan Raviv, Jerusalem, Israel.